How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Bernard Puck Talk podcast. I'm Colton, and this is my co-host Dalen.
How's it going, everybody?
Today we're going to be doing our 2023 NHL mock draft. We're going to be talking about the Calgary Flames and some of their key players not wanting to re-sign next year. We're also going to be talking about some trades and some signings that happened this past week around the NHL.
All that and more is coming up right after this.
Alrighty, so we're going to get into things here. We're going to start with the 2023 NHL mock draft. So first overall to the Chicago Blackhawks, I got Connor Bedard. I think he's generational talent, the next great thing in the NHL. He's got the shot, the vision, the hands, you name it, he's got it. He is definitely the best player in this draft. You can't go wrong with this pick. Chicago Blackhawks have got to be ecstatic, like over the world, for winning the draft lottery. And they land Connor Bedard.
Yeah, Colton, I could not agree more at all with that. Like, Connor Bedard, he's going first. He's a generational talent. The right player to bring Chicago into a brand new dynasty. Like, it was the same thing with Taves and Kane. Bedard's that next step to get a new dynasty in there. He's got the shot. He's got the vision, like you said. But he's also not scared to get in those dirty corners, and he's not afraid to stand up for his teammates, which I like. I really like that.
Yeah, and all Chicago needs to do is kind of build around him. They don't have a lot of pieces right now. They got a lot of young prospects, a lot of young, promising prospects.
For sure, man. Like guys like Tyler Johnson, right?
Oh, yeah, Tyler Johnson. Yeah. All right, so number 2, I got... You get number 1, obviously?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Number 2, to the Anaheim Ducks. I got Adam Fantilli here. Just the way he plays the game, he creates a lot of open ice for himself. He's a pretty big guy. He's got a really good shot, really good hands, great vision. Shot is really hard too. He was Hobie Baker Award winner in the NCAA this year, and I think he fits the Anaheim Ducks perfectly with Trevor Zegras and Troy Terry, even Mason McTavish there. You know, this is a really good team. It's going to be shaping up really well in Anaheim. And they, even though they didn't win the draft lottery, they came in last in the NHL. They should not be disappointed that they lost. This is not a consolation prize by any means. Fantilli could have went first in any draft. He probably would have went first last year. So they shouldn't be...
he's beating Slavkovsky 100%.
Oh, yeah, he's beating Slavkovsky 100%. But
yeah.
They should, Anaheim Duck fans shouldn't be disappointed. Their management shouldn't be disappointed at all. So, I got Fantilli go number 2.
I'm sorry, I gotta disagree with you on this one. I know it's a toss-up, and I think it's just gonna be that shock factor that every draft has. There's always one player that's just gonna go higher than you'd expect. I'm taking Leo Carlson.
Yeah,
I gotta take
that makes
Leo
sense.
Carlson. We've seen him during World Juniors this year, and he was just phenomenal. I loved his game, defensively, offensively. He did everything. He can get in the corners. He can fill in the gaps in the neutral zone and the defensive zone, and takes one quick look up the ice and he sees the open man. It's amazing to see his work and to see his play style on the ice is phenomenal. He can come up clutch in big moments when he needs to. It was shown in the World Juniors as well.
Yeah, okay, so number 3 to the Blue Jackets. I got Leo Carlson here.
A little switch up there.
Yeah, just a little switch up. Yeah, after seeing clips of him and actually seeing him in person, I noticed he's definitely a pass-first type of guy. He can score a lot of goals, but he is definitely a pass-first type of guy. Playing in the SHL, they're known for being a defensive style league, and I think he definitely is able to show that on the ice really well. He's really good in his own zone, transitioning the puck up the ice. Definitely finding those guys where it looks like the pass won't even get there. There's no opening, and he just is out, gets the guy the puck. So I think he's going to do really well with Johnny Gaudreau and Patrick Laine there. I think he slots right in their first line. I think he's going to be a first-line center in the NHL. He is a really great prospect.
Now, this is kind of where we switch it up here. I took Adam Fantilli at 3
Yeah.
going to Columbus. Like, he's a really good player. It's just, I got to take Leo Carlson's ability to play in his respective league and playing against older men. It kind of helps him out in the long run.
Oh yeah.
It does.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like, no disrespect to college hockey. It's just, like, I liked Leo Carlson in the World Juniors. Fantilli, he didn't really get a chance to shine in World Juniors.
Yeah, I guess
found.
Canada's team was pretty deep.
They were, and
he's
it was
young.
unfortunate. I would have loved to see more of Fantilli in that tournament.
Yeah, I would. They should have
But
tried him out in the.
I do
upper
think
lines.
he did come to play in the World Championship, though. He did
Oh, yeah.
kind of show his name.
I mean, he
little
scored a
bit
goal
more.
in the finals, I think.
Yes, he did. He
Yeah.
actually, and I think he assisted the game-winning goal as well. If that is correct.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. I actually can't remember that, but yeah. But no, I have him at 3. I think he's a really good player, though, still.
All right, so here to me and a lot of other people, I think this is where the draft kind of gets interesting.
This is what people have been talking about for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
The San Jose Montreal situation. Will Smith, Matvey Michkov. Who's being taken first?
yeah, I'm gonna go. I think San Jose takes Will Smith here. They're kind of lacking in the center department with their prospects, and I think there's a lot of question marks with Matvey Michkov. So I think Will Smith really fits their timeline, fits in there perfectly. Couture's getting older, and I assume they probably want to move on from Thomas Hurdle. And I think Will Smith would fit perfectly alongside William Eklund or even a Fabian Zetterlund there. I think this is a great pick for San Jose. I know they've taken a lot of risky picks in the past, like Nick Merkley, and that never panned out properly like the way they'd hoped. So I think San Jose kind of goes with almost a for sure thing in Will Smith.
I'm the same way. I'm gonna take Will Smith here, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the king of the Oscar slap. Yeah, Will Smith, 100%.
Yeah.
And just like you said, and with Michkov, you don't know where he's going, but whoever picks him, there's a risk to a reward in that one. And San Jose has taken so many risky picks in the past, like you said, Nick Merkley,
Yep.
and it's just, do they want to make the same mistake twice? Like, do they
I
want
don't
to
think
keep
so.
making the same mistake? Like, if you take Michkov and he doesn't pan out, which is unlikely,
Or he doesn't even bother coming
doesn't even
over.
bother coming here, that's now a pick that you've wasted.
Yeah.
And you do not want to waste another pick like that. So,
Mhm.
yeah, Will Smith as well.
All right, so number 5, Montreal. I think they got to go with Matvey Michkov. I think he is probably, if he didn't have his KHL contract, a 3-year deal in Russia, and there wasn't just so much uncertainty, I think he would have went second. Even could have been talks about him going first potentially, but I think this is a gift to Montreal at number 5. If he comes over to North America, and if Montreal is ready to compete in 3 to 5 years, you got him on his entry-level deal. You
Making
got all
$1
your
million.
top guns paid for, like Caulfield's already locked in a new deal. You got Suzuki in that contract. Slafkovsky will need a deal. I think he fits this timeline for the Canadians just so well. And like Ken Hughes already said, he wants to take the best player available. Well,
Exactly.
Matvey Michkov is definitely the best player available here. This is a no-brainer.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I'm taking Michkov as well. Like, there's...
And even
No
with Montreal,
chance,
they got
like-
so much prospects that even if he doesn't come over, they're still
They're still
fine.
safe,
They're still
like-
safe. It's not like, they're
Like-
losing too much.
You can risk taking Michkov at this point.
Oh, for sure.
Because you have so many prospects that can fill his spot. Even if he doesn't come over, it's not that big of a
Oh, yeah.
loss to Montreal.
Yeah. All right, number 6 at Arizona here. I got them taking Ryan Leonard. This is a pretty good pick for Arizona. I know he's a solid winger. They're basically just stacking up on forwards, and this is a great pick for them.
I'm the same way. I got Ryan Leonard as well. I think he's really good. Like,
Yeah.
he showed up in the U.S. Development League. Like, it's just...
Yep.
He's going in the top 10. It's just, whenever it gets out of the top 5, this is where it's like you don't know
Yeah.
where anybody's going to go. So it's a toss-up. You can pick
Yeah.
Ryan Leonard at 6, and he can drop to Washington, or he can drop to Vancouver. Like you
there's
have no idea.
there's so many different opinions here because usually teams are trying to take the best player available, but it's so close. You just have no idea who the best player available is.
It's a stacked draft. You have so many good players. You're picking, like, you can be picking at 10, you can be picking at 20, you can be picking at 30. Like, you have no idea, and you're still getting a great player for the future.
Oh, yeah. So you had Leonard going 6.
Yep.
Philadelphia at 7. I got them taking Zach Benson here.
Okay. That's respectable. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that pick. For 7, for me, I got Colby Barlow.
Okay. All right, Washington at 8. I got them taking Dalibor Dvorsky. I think with Backstrom getting older, Kuznetsov probably being out the door here very shortly.
You need a centerman.
Yeah, I know he's signed 2 years in wherever his league is. I forget.
Isn't he the Swedish Elite League?
No, I think he's playing in Czech. He's playing Slovakia.
Oh, okay.
He's playing over in Slovakia. But
that's great. We got to do a bit more research here.
Yeah, I guess so. My gosh.
It's a top 10. Come on. We should be able to get through this.
Yeah. I think Dalibor Dvorsky would really fit well in the Washington Capitals system. He's got a really good shot. Really, really good shot.
Yes,
and I know he's a really good distributor as well. Maybe could work in his defensive game a little bit, but overall, I think he could easily be a number 2 center, maybe even possibly a number 1 center playing with Alexander Ovechkin, trying to get him to break that goal record here.
Get him to 1,000 goals, man. Get him to 1,000.
Yep.
Oh,
he could easily do it. No problem.
100%. But yeah, no. Number 8, I got Dvorsky as well. Me and him, we were at World Juniors and we watched him, and he played phenomenal.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he played great. He was able to shoot the puck, like you said. Maybe not warm-ups, because nobody could hit the net.
Nobody could hit the stinking nets.
Like, geez, we were right behind the glass, and
holy,
was the glass gonna break soon? Like, jeez.
All right, so number 9 to Detroit. I actually have them taking David Reinbacher here. This is a gift to Detroit, in my opinion. That blue line, if they have Sider there on that right side with Reinbacher too, 1-2 punch, and then you got Simon Edvinsson there, that is an outstanding blue line, and Steve Yzerman has got to be licking his chops, man. Like, he's got to be like, wow.
But Steve Yzerman is the one GM that you don't know what he's going to do.
See, that's the thing. Like, you have no idea. He could pick some guy who's ranked 20th overall in different mock drafts.
And then they're going to be a stud. Going at 31, you know?
I hope he goes to 28 at the least.
No, I'm really hoping he goes to Well, if we keep the pick, go to 31 to Montreal. He's looking good.
I don't know. That's my pick. That's who I want the least to take is Musty. He is a big, powerful center. He can move him to the wing.
Yeah, I know, but Matthews. I'm sorry to disappoint you there, buddy. I don't think so.
Yeah, we'll see. But anyway.
But yeah, no. Number 9 for me. I got over here. I got Gabriel Perreault.
Okay.
Great winger as well on that U.S. development team as well.
Stacked line. Smith and Leonard.
Smith, Leonard, and Perreault. Try stopping that line.
Yeah, you can't.
Perreault got how many points this season?
132 points.
132 points? Yeah. Me and you go on the ice. I think we could stop him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we are
stop him from getting 100. Not stop him from getting 1. Stop him from getting maybe 100.
Yeah, 100 points in 5 games, maybe.
I'm saying 1 game.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. They'll just blow right by us.
Yeah.
We'll still be at center. They're already doing laps.
We'll be gassed after 30 seconds. They're still going.
Yeah, we get out there. All right, it's time to change. Let's get the heck off the ice now.
I do not want to play against these guys.
All right, 10 to St. Louis. I think I got Colby Barlow, and I think he really fits their system well. Like, I know St. Louis likes size up the middle, and even if he moves to the wing, I think he's definitely kind of a matured hockey player. He has definitely showed a lot of maturity in his game. Like, he is a big, strong
big man
presence on the ice, and you know, he's definitely like improved his defensive game over these past couple of years, and he's got one of the best shots in the draft, and his NHL and like his shot is ready now.
It sounds like best shot right now is kind of the draft here.
Yeah, there's a lot of good shooters in this draft. Like,
if you can shoot the puck, you're making the draft.
GM should be licking their chops over this draft. Like, this could be better than 2015. Like, there is so many good prospects
That's a hard take, but it's close.
Well,
It is close.
it's really close, and you just watch highlights of all these guys,
And they're incredible.
and even going into the 20s, like it's unbelievable. Like I've never seen a draft like say I watched like the 2015 draft and
Spit it out, buddy.
shut up, man, God. And I see the 2015 draft, and I go look at this draft, and I actually think this draft is better. Like I know, obviously, you can't say that now.
You gotta wait a couple of years and see what happens, but you never know, right?
But
you just never know, and know who's gonna pan out too.
Yeah, exactly. But there's just so many great top end players in this draft. Like a number 10 pick or number 15 pick could be like a top 5 pick in any other draft.
Still gonna be a stud, yeah.
So.
Okay, my 10th pick and the final pick of this mock draft, I'm taking David Reinbacher.
All right.
I think St. Louis could use a big defenseman there on the point that can really release the puck and just be a good big defenseman.
He can even run the power play too.
He can, yes, he can. He's very offensive minded, but also can play two-way hockey and have good defensive.
And with St. Louis, they're probably going to lose one of Parayko or Justin Falk this year.
Yeah, so you need a defenseman to fill that spot.
I don't think he'll make the NHL right away, but I think in the next 1 to 2 years, he's got a really good shot.
You don't need to rush him, right?
Oh, God, no.
Jeez, no.
And especially like St. Louis, it's not like they really need anybody right now. Like, I think they could easily make the playoffs next year if they wanted to.
They can still make playoffs. They're still a playoff-capable team. Are they a cup-winning team?
Probably not.
You never know,
I think
right?
Doug Armstrong's the type of GM. I obviously he knows what he's doing. He won that cup back in 2019.
Exactly.
But I don't think he's scared to make big moves. And I don't think he wants to lose. Like, I don't think he wants to be there losing.
Yeah,
So.
And speaking of big moves, this draft, I don't think I've ever been more excited than a draft in my life.
No, God, no.
This draft will be full of big moves.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Like, there is no way. Like, there's going to be so many big trades. There's already been talks of stuff happening.
Yeah. Rumors going around the league already, and it's just filled.
Yeah, the rumor
mill's
mill's
going to be
filled.
moved.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Hopefully we get some answers soon, though.
Yeah. So let's move on here. So the Calgary Flames, they're in deep trouble. Like, this is another off season where they're going to lose their best players.
Their best players again.
Well, I mean, obviously they still have Huberdeau and Weegar, but...
I mean, Huberdeau, you're lucky you signed that 8-year deal now,
right? He would have been an unrestricted free agent this year, and he would definitely be walking.
He'd be walking, too. I feel bad for him, but, it's like, now what is the issue in Calgary? You fired your head coach, Daryl Sutter, and now everyone wants to...
Brad Treliving's gone, too. He resigned.
But now it's like, now everybody wants to stay. You fast forward a couple months, now everybody's ready to walk out the door again.
Like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, what is going on?
I don't know. Like, Toffoli wants out. Backlund, who's been there for 15 years, he's been there through everything. He wants to go. Hanifin wants out.
My favorite goaltender of all time, Dan Vladar, wants out.
Yeah, so there's a lot of... It's going to get interesting in Calgary. I think they probably know how to handle this situation a lot better, considering what happened with Tkachuk and Johnny Gaudreau, especially with Johnny Gaudreau. They lost him for nothing.
Exactly, and you can't let your star players walk for nothing, because then you're just getting screwed.
But see, at least give it to the top players. So at least they're telling them early, instead of Johnny Gaudreau over here saying, "Yeah, I'm going to resign," and then walks.
Yeah.
So.
A little annoying, but I guess it is what it is. You got to kind of play the field, right? You got to see what the emotions are like in the dressing room. If he says he's going to resign, but it's still kind of showing you signals that maybe he won't,
you got to move him.
Yeah,
you got to at least get something for him.
Yeah.
Like, Craig Conroy, the new GM, probably knows, they're not going to win a Stanley Cup this year.
No.
They have to be careful, though, because I know the Canadians have their first-round pick next year in the draft.
Yeah.
So they got to be really careful.
You got to make some moves, and you got to try and make playoffs, because you don't want that pick going to be in the top 10 for Montreal. No, it's not going to work out for you.
But so, Dalen, where do you think a good fit is for some of these guys?
Well, I guess we'll start off with Noah Hanifin.
Yeah.
And you're going to love this one. Toronto.
Yeah,
I like Toronto.
I know I'm probably a little biased, but I can agree. I really like Hanifin. I'm going to be biased, but I think Hanifin really fits well there, especially because they don't have that second line like top end defenseman. Like
No,
I
they
know they
don't.
got Jake McCabe, they got TJ Brody, but
They got Justin Hall.
not anymore. He's gone, man.
See, they should
But
have resigned him.
but they need another top four D man to play to help Morgan Riley out. Like he really carried that back end through the playoffs.
He's been carrying
Probably
that
their
team
best
for
player
a
through the
while
playoffs.
on
Like
defense.
I know he's not the greatest defensively, but when it comes like the big moments, like he steps up.
I mean, it's not bad if you have an offensive defenseman on your lineup with a defensive defenseman
Exactly,
there
like
too.
TJ Brody fits him really well. If he was right-handed, he'd be perfect.
Exactly,
Perfect defense.
because you got a defenseman that's offensively capable that you're not scared to go up and have rushes with because you have a defensive defenseman on the back end that's
Yeah.
going to bail you out and not leave your goaltender out to dry.
Oh yeah. So let's talk about Michael Backlund here. Where do you think a good fit for him is? Because I think a good fit for him, maybe look at the Carolina Hurricanes.
Hurricanes would be nice.
Like you could use him on your third line. Move maybe a just Barry Kotkaniemi over,
please do.
possibly the wing. Yeah. So where are you thinking with Backlund?
Backlund. There's a couple places he could go. I'd like to see him on Minnesota though. I
Yeah.
think Minnesota could be a nice fit for him.
Even like a team like the Colorado Avalanche, like I know they got Alex Newhook there playing on that third line now.
But you also got to remember that too. I don't think Landeskog is coming back.
Exactly. So that cat, like they
So that
even
opens up
move,
room.
even move, say Backlund to the wing.
Exactly, and then help that team out a lot.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I don't know if there's a lot of interest in him. Dan Vladar. Like he's a backup goalie
Yeah.
at best, but like
Maybe if
do
LA
you
can't
think?
get their goalie situation, maybe LA takes a shot.
take a
at
shot
him
at him, see what happens.
and see, give him the number one job. Still have Phoenix Copley there. He's a cheap
Exactly.
option. He just makes a little over $2 million.
Exactly.
He's got
so
1 year
not,
left on his deal, so it's not like it's a really.
It's not the
risky
end of the world
thing.
if you take him or not.
I think he's definitely an upgrade over Felix Copley, even a debate over Jonas Korpisalo. He was pretty shaky in the playoffs. I mean, it's so hard to stop Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, though, so what do you expect? Like,
Man,
he played pretty good. I think he
can't.
definitely played better than Stuart Skinner.
Yes, he did. He did.
Maybe even
I would like to see him.
the
Depending-
Edmonton Oilers would be a pretty good.
I was
pretty
gonna say
good
Edmonton,
spot.
but I was also thinking of another Canadian team, Winnipeg. Because where's Hellebuck's leaving?
Yeah.
So that leaves a goaltending position up there. Try and maybe fit into Winnipeg, because you know Winnipeg's not going to be going anywhere soon.
No, they're probably going to have to really. They should really tear it down.
They should.
They're
They
getting
should.
older. Like Shifley and Wheeler aren't getting any younger. I know they got Perfetti there. You keep him. Kyle Connor and Ehlers are still pretty older, but I'd probably try to move Nikolai Ehlers. I think he's got a lot of value right now, especially with the way like there's not a lot of top free agents this year, so there's definitely going to be a lot of trades going on in the NHL.
Yeah, no.
And I think
like,
you can get
for sure.
I think you can get pretty decent haul for Nikolai Ehlers this year.
You could. Yes, you could.
All right, so Tyler Toffoli, where do you think he's a good fit in?
I could say it. But he's not going to fit there anymore. I want to say Montreal, but
No,
he's not.
He's
going
not coming back.
I loved him though. I loved him
Yeah.
in Montreal. Loved him in L.A. Where could he go next? Edmonton, maybe. Like I'd love to see him in Edmonton.
I think he'd be a good fit for the Bruins. I think he'd be a really good fit there on the wing.
That's just another player you got to watch out for when they're playing against the Leafs.
I know, but I think he'd be a really good fit on the Bruins. Like, it's so up in the air what's going to happen with Bergeron and Krejci that they're losing so much scoring. I know Tyler Bertuzzi's supposed to be a free agent. I don't know if they'll be able to lock him up. I know Tyler Toffoli's on a really good contract. I think he's making just a little over $4 million, and I think
Yeah.
that's definitely a reasonable cap hit for his type of like he had 30 goals this year.
He's a
And
good
he's
player.
making just a little over $4 million. I think that's a steal. I
It
know
is a
it's only
steal.
for one more year,
But
but
get him
at
for
his
a year.
age,
Like-
he probably won't be commanded too much more. Like maybe 6.
Yeah, I would not see him getting more than 6
Exactly.
at his age now.
Even the Avalanche could take a run at him.
But the thing with Toffoli is he's just not slowing down. He's
Oh,
getting
no,
better.
getting better
like,
with age. So You just never know. Yeah, I think he'd definitely be still a good fit in Colorado. Like
He would for sure.
like they could move Rantanen over to the left wing and have Toffoli there on the top line for sure, and have that 1-2-3 of McKinnon, Rantanen, and Tyler Toffoli. I think that'd be a really good fit for him, especially because he probably wants to go to a contender.
Now you actually reminded me about this now because I want to go back to Backlund for a second because you just gave me a team that I could see him in, Boston, because of the Krejci and
true.
Bergeron.
You know what? That is true.
Like they're both. Bergeron probably is retiring. Krejci's probably going back to Czech.
Yeah.
So there's your two centermans gone. How about take a shot at Backlund?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, that's definitely good. That'd be a good destination for him, and I know
it would
Boston's
be for sure.
not afraid of making those big moves, especially at the draft. Boston has made some humongous moves at the draft. Maybe some really questionable 2015.
3 first-round picks right in a row. Matthew Barzal? No, we don't need him.
No,
Kyle
they
Connor?
didn't need Thomas
Nah,
Chabot
we don't need
either.
him. Chabot?
Maybe
No.
probably a dynasty if
We'll take Zach Senyshyn.
it was actually Jacob Zaboral. At least I got DeBrusque, right? One out of 3.
Yeah, you got 33.3% chance, just like our math tests.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's talk about what happened in the NHL this week. There was a couple signings. I know you're pretty excited about the Sean Monahan deal.
I haven't stopped grinning all week.
Yeah, it's a good contract.
It's such a great contract. And, if he stays healthy, you could flip him at the deadline, which is what the Montreal Canadiens have been wanting to do. They couldn't do it last season because he got injured, but if he stays healthy, he could get maybe 30, 40 points maybe this season, and maybe even more.
And I think that it's good because he's still young. He's 28 years old.
He's 28. He's still got
So even if he plays good and the Canadiens value him, they don't have to move him.
No.
Like,
you don't need to.
He could stay there, sign maybe a 3 or 4 year deal, and be a part of that future that the Canadiens are building.
I mean, sign him until Mitchkov comes up, if he does.
Yeah.
Or, whoever they draft. I'm hoping it's going to be Mitchkov.
Yeah,
but
hopefully.
Still, you can't really say anything. Ken Hughes has said he's taking the best player available. Please do.
Obviously, Matvei Mitchkov, he's available.
Yep, exactly. Or Will Smith.
Ow!
I love that button.
All right. So, who else got signed this week?
Oh, God. Oh, Erik Haula.
Yeah, Erik Haula,
New Jersey. Yeah, for $3.5 million, I think?
Yeah, 3.5.
For 3 years?
Or it's $3.25 million for 3 years. I think that's a really good value
I love the
contract.
deal. It's cap friendly as well.
And Erik Haula is the type of player that you can move up and down your lineup. You need him to play first line minutes. He can. Second, third.
He can. Third, fourth line. Who cares? He can. He can
do
it all.
He can play on the power play, play on the penalty kill. I think this is a really good signing, especially because the Devils are going to need to make some tough decisions here. Like, they got a lot of top players that are going to start needing contract extensions.
Yeah.
Like, I know they already locked up Jesper Bratt for 8 years. They have Hughes for 8 years.
Easter's locked up too.
Yeah. I know they're trying to work on an extension with Timo Meier. I know he wants to stay there long term, and the Devils want him there long term.
I think Thomas Tatar will be at the door, though.
Yeah, I think he's probably gone.
Yeah, you got to remember Luke Hughes too. Once he's out of his entry level deal, you got to sign him.
Some money, and Simon Nemec as well. He's going to be wanting some money.
Oh, jeez,
they're going to be a really scary team. Like, they got a lot of top end prospects.
They're going to be a scary team if they can keep all those guys.
Especially because they weren't expected to make the playoffs. They had the second overall pick in last year's draft, and they took Nemec. And then they made the playoffs next year. Like, they're in a really, really good position right now, especially signing these top guys coming out of college or wherever they're coming from.
Yeah.
And having them on making less than $1 million.
It's perfect.
And then being an impact player at the NHL level right now, especially if they're a top playoff team. Like, they came third in the NHL last year. Like, nobody expected that.
No, nobody did. And it's like you're in not really win now mode, but you'd like to win now.
Yeah, like, I mean, the Devils went in at the deadline. They went and got Timo Meier. They paid a really big package for him. I know he didn't produce as much as they wanted to.
But it's 1 year.
Yeah,
like, it's not even 1 year.
Especially,
it's half a year.
Get him, say, in a full training camp. Like, get him used to the city. Get him used to the systems.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the time you get that, he can be a really effective player, especially in the playoffs. Like, his size, he's a pretty big dude. He can get in front of the net. He can cause some havoc.
For sure, he
And
could.
he's got some bite to him too. Like I can see him being really effective in the playoffs if they make it next year. Like they could be a really dangerous team, and like obviously Jack Hughes, like he can easily be a top 10 player in the NHL come 2 years for sure. Like he has shown so much progression in the past couple of years that he creates so much open ice for himself. Like he's doing everything right now. He can get a little bigger. Obviously, he's not going to be that physical presence, but even if you have a guy like Timo Meier playing next to him, like that's scary.
It is scary for sure.
All right, so some of the trades that happened. Ryan Johansson going to the Colorado Avalanche for Alex Galchenyuk. I know it's interesting. Like, you can look at it both ways. All right, Nashville probably wants to get out of that deal. I know Johansson maybe not want to be there anymore. Like, they're not competing.
Yep.
He's getting older. He wants to go to a team that's competing. Obviously, Colorado
is a team that's competing.
They won the cup last year, so.
Yeah. Exactly, so it's the perfect team to go to right now.
And I think he would slot in there as their second-line center perfectly right behind Nathan McKinnon.
I was going to say, yeah, that's perfect. Especially because Landeskog's not returning, so...
Exactly, and...
Maybe Backlund is not the route to go there if you're getting Johansson.
He
but
might be a good third
liner.
liner. You never know, especially if Johansson, maybe he gets injured. I know he's had some injury trouble in the past. But, you get him in, and you get him used to everything. He used to be so dominant. Like, I know before he got traded for Seth Jones there, even a little bit in Nashville, he was a really good player.
Yeah, he was. I'd like to see him play.
And especially, he's probably not going to have so much pressure on him because all the spotlight's going to be on McKinnon and Rantanen and even Cale Makar, obviously.
He could just slip in behind there and not have the spotlight and kind of just shine in his own way.
I think it's definitely a great trade for both teams, but Nashville, like, why would they? I just can't get.
Do they need Galchenyuk? Like, that's kind of where my thing was.
There must be something going on. Maybe Barry Trotz's there. Maybe he's gonna go after, spend some money in free agency and go after one of the top free agents. I know there's not a lot, but
there's a few of them out there.
Like I know Bunting's out there. I don't know if they take a look at him, Bertuzzi, Barbashev. Maybe they take a look at some of those guys. You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe a Dmitry Orlov too. Like I know they don't have they traded away Matthias Ekholm. If they want to start competing again, I know they kind of tore it down a little bit at the deadline. Sold off some pieces, but they didn't really. Like it's not like they're not. They don't need to panic.
No, they don't. It's not panic mode yet.
Like, they still have Matt Duchene there, Dante Fabro on defense. They still have some good pieces there. I know they got a lot of prospects. They got some prospects coming out. Yeah, UC Saros, yeah.
Let's not forget about him.
Yeah, they're MVP every single year. Obviously, Roman Yossi, too. How could I forget him?
Yeah, jeez.
Top 5 defenseman in the NHL. Yeah,
forget the top 2 players.
So when you have UC Saros and Roman Yossi there on your team, you're not going to be a bottom feeder.
No.
Like, that's not going to happen. And
you got one of the best defensemen on your back end and one of the best goaltenders in the league that can stop pucks.
In my opinion, should have been a Vezina nominee this year. He played that good. He was the only reason.
He's the only reason they were close to making playoffs. Yeah, so
close. 2 points out, just right there.
Yep. And you can't blame him. Like, he did all he could.
Yeah, like, UC Saros is one of those goalies that, like, rarely has an off night.
Exactly. I think he's one of the most consistent goaltenders I've seen.
And if Nashville looks to trade him, like, they could get a massive haul for UC Saros. Like,
you get so much for him.
A top prospect, a couple first-round picks.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't even surprise me if UC Saros could get more than Connor Hellebuck, because he's still really young. And Nashville has Yaroslav Askarov coming up. So I think they probably want to make room for him really soon. I know he'll probably be getting some looks in the NHL. Maybe Barry Trotz decides to just say, maybe this isn't the direction we want to go in with Saros.
Well, maybe he's been there too long, too, and you want to give him a fresh start.
Because he's still really young. He's not an old goalie. I know Hellebuck's 30, and I know Saros is younger.
Yeah, Saros is 27?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
26? I think I'm around that age.
So, I'm actually going to look that up here.
Yeah, for sure. Make sure we actually get it right.
Yeah, because Like he's 28 years old. Like he is still a young goalie. He's in his
Exactly.
prime.
2 years.
And you add him to a contending team, like you add him to say LA or even New Jersey. Like I know he makes $6 million a year.
But still, $6 million for a goaltender that's gonna save your ass in a lot of situations.
Yeah.
I'll
Like,
take
he
it.
could easily win a Vezina trophy. Even next year, he could easily win the Vezina.
Even if he doesn't win the Vezina, he should be a nominee.
Yeah, like he's a
oh
top
my
five goalie for
gosh, he
sure, no
works so
question
well.
in the NHL. Yeah. So another trade that happened. Sean Durzi going to the Coyotes
for the second round pick that was actually Montreal's pick before they got it in a trade. So
I think this is definitely a great trade for both sides. I think Arizona really needs to strengthen that blue line. If they didn't, like before in my mock draft, I had them getting Reinbacker.
Yep.
Just because that back end is so weak, and they really need to bolster it up. And I think they did really well in this trade, only giving up a second, especially because they have so much draft capital. I think they have 11 picks this year, or like they have five or six second round picks in the next two drafts or something like that. They have an abundance of picks.
Yeah, they do.
So they sent one to LA for top 4D, man. I think that's good for them. And LA is trying to make space, probably, we all assume, for Brant Clark or even a Jordan Spence.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't agree more. We were talking about the draft here earlier today, and we were saying about how Arizona had 2 picks. This was before the actual trade was released. And we each said they're going to take a forward and maybe possibly a defenseman. Especially a defenseman with maybe that 12th pick. And I was saying Axel Sandin Pellikka.
I was thinking the same thing there, too.
Now I'm thinking 2 forwards. You got Sean Durzi. There's no need now.
I'd still maybe go with an Axel Sandin Pellikka there at 12, just because I think he can easily run a power play, and I think he's got a lot of offensive tools that not a lot of defensemen have, and I think he's only really, really going to get better.
Yeah, like it all depends what happens, right? It all depends who picks who, right?
Yeah, for sure. But let's get back to this trade here. So if you were to declare a winner on both, like either one of this trade, who would you pick?
I'd take LA. I'd take LA Kings because, like you said, they're doing a cap dump and they're making room for another stellar defenseman. Like It doesn't hurt them much, and they're getting a second round pick, which we've seen in the past can come and
especially
give you a superstar.
It's an early second round pick too. It's 39th overall in the draft.
Exactly. So it's not that bad, and it's because it's this year's, right?
Yeah, it's this year's.
Yeah, it's this year's. So you've seen this draft. It's stacked.
Yeah, it's stacked. You can easily get a first round pick in any other year in the second round, even late in the second round.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, this draft is really, really deep. It's exciting as a hockey fan. Big time exciting. I'm pumped for the draft. I'm pumped for everything.
Well, I didn't really care much about last year's draft, and Montreal had the first round pick. This draft I'm really excited for, so that kind of tells you how exciting this draft is for every hockey fan around the world.
Yeah. Alrighty, so I think that's going to be it for this episode. We'd appreciate your support. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And we'll see you in the next one on the Bernard Puck Talk podcast.